Finally tonight, Julie Andrews. She's one of those legendary entertainers everyone seems to know. Next year, Andrews will receive her latest accolade, the American Film Institute's Lifetime Achievement Award. John Yang sat down with 84-year-old Andrews and her daughter, Emma Walton Hamilton, to talk about their new book, which reveals some stories people don't know about Andrews from her time in Hollywood. This is part of our ongoing arts and culture series, Canvas.
Both Sound of Music and Mary Poppins were touchstones in my youth.
Actually, they were in mine too.
And mine as well.
And yours as well. And then talking to my colleagues, they're showing their children.
Yes, isn't that phenomenal? I mean, that's a bonus and that you just don't expect. But those timeless, good musicals, and they were so beautifully made.
Andrews' legendary career includes the stage, movies, TV, concerts, and recordings. She's a Dame Commander of the British Empire and has 6 Golden Globes, 3 Grammys, 2 Emmys, an Oscar, and a Kennedy Center honor. Andrews and Hamilton, a professional writer and arts educator, have written more than 30 books for children and young adults. They wrote Homework, a memoir of my Hollywood years as a team. Emma, as you were growing up, were there movies or projects of your mother's that were particular favorites?
Well, I was pretty much there most of the time on set for most of the films. I couldn't sit through The Sound of Music for years without weeping because anytime I saw my mother cry on film, I burst into tears myself.
Yes,
so.
she'd suddenly say, "I'm just going out for a little bit," and blinking very furiously.
Yeah, but I have to say, probably now among my favorites of her films is Hawaii.
I'm pleased to make your acquaintance, Reverend Hale.
I think her performance in it is so different than many of her other films and so strong.
Of the 3 early ones you made, Americanization of Emily, one of your favorites?
It's the virtue of war that's the fraud, not war itself. It's the valor and the self-sacrifice and the goodness of war that needs the exposing.
It's a very timely theme, more than ever maybe, about the folly and excess of war and the needlessness of it.
Writing about your early days in vaudeville, you talked about the contrast between the glamorous appearance of life in the theater and the rather shabby reality of it backstage.
Yes.
And you give us a lot of examples in your movie making, particularly of that wonderful opening scene of Sound of Music. The camera discovers you on a mountaintop.
Yes, but actually being photographed by a cameraman hanging from the side of a helicopter. I kept being dashed to the ground by the downdraft from the jet engines. But every time I came up, with grass and hay all over me.
The hills fill my heart.
One lyric in the movie that you never quite got.
There was just one tiny line that I really didn't know how to sing. And I just thought the best thing to do, since I'm out in the wild and so on, just say, sing through the night like a lark who is learning to pray. I go to the hills and carry on very fast after that.
Like a lark who is learning to pray.
For her very first film, Mary Poppins, she won the Oscar.
For a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. The medicine go down, medicine go down.
I know, a stunning surprise. I didn't expect to. And I really thought for a while that maybe it was given to me as a kind of welcome to Hollywood gesture. And what a lucky, lucky moment in my life.
The book focuses on the importance of family. Emma, the child of her first marriage to theater director Tony Walton, 2 stepchildren, Jennifer and Jeffrey, from her second marriage to noted film director, writer, producer Blake Edwards, and the 2 daughters she and Edwards adopted, Amelia and Joanna. Edwards, who died in 2010, directed Andrews in 7 movies, including 10 and Victor Victoria.
La, 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 la.
I love the unity that it provides. And working with Blake, I felt so very safe in his embrace, so to speak. And I knew that I didn't have to worry about a thing, but on camera. But just sticking together, traveling together, being together, it's why home in Homework is there, because making a home, keeping family together means so much to me.
There's a sweet story in the book of when she flew in to surprise me for my 15th birthday. And she only left about 2 weeks prior to go back to work in Europe. And I came home from school and discovered her sitting on my bed, completely wrapped in crepe paper, I guess it was. And then I burst into tears, happy tears.
Yes, thank God, yes.
Yet not all the memories are happy.
Blake was a very depressive personality and yet devastatingly funny. But when he was in a bad way, it was very sad.
You felt the need to make things better, to make people happy.
Well, it's sort of my job in a way, John, if you think about it. Being on stage all my life, it's about hopefully giving joy, and I love to do it.
In her next book, Andrews also expects to deal with the emotional impact of losing her singing voice after throat surgery in 1997, though she says she can't discuss the procedure itself.
Unfortunately, I can't talk about it since it was part of my agreement in a settlement where I gave all the settlement to charity and so on, but it was a devastating time in my life. Welcome, my greenies.
She's still working, though, recently creating and appearing in Julie's Green Room on Netflix.
To the stage!
To the stage!
The children's series, produced with the Jim Henson Company, is about puppets staging their own musical under the watchful eye of Andrews, now herself a grandmother of 10 and great-grandmother of 3. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm John Yang in New York.